Oh, I think they're doing a great job. A lot of them are.
Good afternoon, Dwayne. How are you?
Not too bad, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today with Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. If you're ready to talk, we're willing to listen.
Well, I really enjoy this program today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
May God bless every person.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome. Hey, some days you got to put a good face forward. You know. Some days you kind of wish you looked like my brother. That way it would be much easier. But hey, it's me. It's Susan. And the phone lines are open for some open line. 949-8037, 949-8037. Well, that toll-free line is available with the kind compliments of flow is available to you. 1-800-534-TALK. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration, Tourism and Transport. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. MedLab in Smith Road Plaza, your complete medical laboratory solution. Call 949-7331. And Savannah Pharmacy in Countryside Shopping Village, convenient opening hours including Sundays and holidays.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today, the Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program. We ask our listeners to avoid statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use any indecent language or make any statement which is false or misleading. Email talktoday@candw.ky or call 1-800-534-8255.
Courtesy of Flow.
Cayman's #1 network that connects you to your world like never before.
Let your voice be heard. Once again, here's your host, Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome, and thank you for joining us as we invite you to share your thoughts. And sometimes, we attempt through humor to not only deflect, sometimes to mask, and sometimes to try to defray that pain, hurt, anger, the sense of angst, animosity, and the like that we may be feeling. It doesn't dismiss that things aren't real. So we are prayerful, and we are very much mindful that many of us are feeling a great sense of trepidation. And as a physician reminded me earlier, try not to get to the space and the place where you let fear and panic rule your lives, that you move about with that semblance of anxiety that causes you to become almost, paralyzed. Doesn't mean that we don't exercise caution and common sense, but we're not helpful to each other. It actually means that we do even that in a greater abundance. It's open line, 949-8037, 949-8037. You can WhatsApp, 925-3261, and share a thought if you wish. Certainly want you to call us. Use the toll-free line if you choose, 1-800-534-8255. Increasingly, we see toll-free numbers being readily available, but that's the one that has probably been the longest, most established, and we want you to use it because it ensures that we do have that level of freedom and democracy to talk, to converse, to be able to question and comment. Now, every correspondent right should have that level of responsibility. Too many are sharing their thoughts quietly, and not enough are willing to engage meaningfully, engage with a sense of purpose, not just the lyrics in Third World, but a concept that I think we should all employ more readily. So what's on your mind? I know a lot of us are saying, oh man, this thing is just wearing on. 2 weeks to flatten the curve, and 2 years later we still have no clue where we're going, according to some, and yet leadership is stepping up and stepping in, and we're still not, in tow. Well, why is that? 949-8037, 1-800-534-8255. What I say, Ms. Susan is standing by now to take your calls. I've been asked to sort of relay a sentiment, and it has to do with how a country, and the person said, well, if we could do it, in more of a sort of a detached, unemotional, objective way, that may be easier. But if we make it a real example, perhaps it'll be something that will resonate more easily. So in the context of the Cayman, as we know it, where do we go from here and what are we doing? And are we pointing fingers and blaming, or are we accepting responsibility? Are we failing to hold others accountable? From the inability to discuss, how things are happening in our society, to the questions that may not only go unanswered, they may never be asked sufficiently or publicly or in the right places and places to people in order to elicit that answer. And even when it's asked, we may be unwilling, to press for the truth. 949-8037, 1-800-534-8255, or WhatsApp 925-3261. As a case in point, a lady shared with me earlier, she said, how is it that we are unable to understand some of the things that are happening, or that we're not cognizant of the need to hold people accountable? Human error is, without question, something that occurs and occurs more frequently than we recognize, acknowledge, address, or sanction those who have erred. But at the end of the day, it happens. And when we don't do anything about it, well, it becomes a challenge. I'll tell you more as she was talking about the whole issue with the Cayman Airways flight and the seemingly consequence thereof. Let's go to the phones, though. Good afternoon and welcome. Thank you for calling.
Hey, good afternoon.
Afternoon, my friend. How are you today, man?
I'm wondering if this is Superstar Sterling, or who it is.
My friend, I must say that as much as I endeavor to have humility, if ever I do seek honor, humility first, I really appreciate, your accolades. And it's not just a good jest, but it reminds us, to be gracious and to be grateful for those who may offer up, such a compliment. So, how are you, my good friend? The man who is so poised and positioned that he speaks his mind in such a powerful way.
I would like to. This is a question because a lot of people seem to have the ability. They say the prophets and the different people. I wonder if we believe that God can bring healing to the land and make things a whole lot better for the people.
Right. Can I ask you, well, two reasons, huh? Why do you ask that question?
Because there's a word that I read. I don't remember how long it was, the first time or second time or when, but in relation to healing the land,
Yeah, okay.
And the instructions were for us to I think live a certain type of way, something like that. But I'm sure it was to live the right type of way, us, the people.
Well, in the scripture, it talks about if my people, which are called, by my name, shall humble themselves, pray and seek my face, and turn from their wicked ways. The scripture didn't mince words. And then God says, then I will hear from heaven and I will heal their land. I think I may have paraphrased that somewhat or missed some words, but I remember those words. We got to humble ourselves. We got to pray and seek God's face, right, and turn from our wicked ways. I don't know about anybody else, but how many times have we looked in the mirror and asked ourselves, how wicked are we? We know how wicked our neighbors and our people around us, but have you ever asked, I wonder if we are wicked? What is it that we are doing? Pointing fingers all the time, but never willing to look within. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm sure I'm guilty of that.
That's right. Well, I feel pretty sure it is Mr. Superstar Sherlin. That's the person I'm speaking with.
Man, you full of your lyrics, man.
Here, Mr. Platinum.
but all right, and if you wish, and like I said, to you and anybody else, I'm happy always to engage in anybody who wishes to question, to ask, and to comment. And if ever my words offend and I realize it, I will certainly apologize. But if it is something I stand by, then I say, you know what, that is just tough, because sometimes we fail to face the truth, right? Right. I've looked in the mirror sometimes and go, boy, you put down some weight, hey, that may not be something you like, but if it's the reality, you can't change it unless you do a couple of things, right? Look at what you eat, try to exercise, and hopefully safely and smartly speak to your physician in order to go about it properly, right?
That's right.
But we don't do that. We are unwilling to take good counsel. We are unwilling sometimes to look, as Mama would say, make sense of nonsense. And we are so quick to castigate everybody that seems to disagree with us. And yet, we ourselves probably are no better off, because guess what? We're paddling the canoe by ourselves.
But I wonder, those words that you were saying, turn from the wicked ways. I wonder if we can do that.
Well, that was the other thing I wanted to ask. In this time, you were asking about prayer. How, even if we speak just within the religious quarters, or even just specifically to one religion, the Christian faith, the division that is within that alone, not just the day that they worship Him, but the way in which we worship, right? And then sometimes, for want of a better word, the example, the leadership that is there, or some would say the lack of leadership. I'm wondering if we are really called to demonstrate our faith, and are really subscribing to prayer. Now, maybe I don't understand it, maybe I don't employ it correctly, but faith without works is dead is something that we've heard often, whether we understand it or not. But you have faith, but then you got to do something as well to bring it about, right? And when there's a question, so let's say you have Bible study, and you maybe not quite sure what a passage is saying, or your interpretation of it or understanding of this, and without a good discussion, and without people who probably are positioned to know a little bit more, you may never fully understand what is, or better understand what is being said. But even that person, again, the worship leader, the Bible study leader, the pastor, whomever, that person may not necessarily be 100% correct either. We're human. You're right.
That's quite possible. You're right. But they said so much things that are possible.
But let me ask, respect. Where do you think we are in this society relative to our demonstration of respect, the respect we have for ourselves and for each other? Just general respect. You think we're not as respectful as we were, not as respectful as we should be? What do you think?
I have no idea. I think it would be very difficult to get a full, should I say, analysis of.
Fair enough. What about love? What about love? Think there's enough love?
I think it's a whole lot of it. Yeah. I think so. Sure.
Yeah, man. All right. Well, before we go to the break, another comment you want to share with us?
I say blessings.
Amen, brother. Amen.
He who sees judges from above. Yes.
Yeah, man. Well, listen, you shout us whenever you want. Be safe, be well, and we talk to you soon, my friend. All right?
Yes, sir.
Blessings to you. All right, let's pause and take that break. Come back and let's hear from you. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Bro, do you really have to eat 2 sandwiches for lunch?
No, but one is for dinner. On Tuesdays at Subway, you can get the 2 subs for any size, plus a fountain drink for the price of 1.
Nah, Bobo, that sounds too good to be true. For real though, 2 subs for the price of 1? And a drink?
each and every Tuesday now until September 28th. Buy any Subway sandwich in any size and a 32-ounce fountain drink and get an equal or lesser value sub for free. For every 2 for Tuesday purchase, be entered to win one of 3 LG 50-inch 4K smart TVs, a Grill Pro, or one of 2 retro bikes, plus many more prizes. Subway's 2 for Tuesdays is in partnership with Pepsi and Progressive Distributors. Prize drawing is September 30th. Terms and conditions apply. See in store for details.
For medical lab services in Cayman, go straight to MedLab.
For a full range of medical services, pleasant, clean and comfortable environment, no long lines and affordable fees, visit MedLab at the Smith Road Plaza. Open Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. and half day on Saturdays. Call 949-7331 to make your appointment.
For medical lab services in Cayman, MedLab.
Ask our professional team about the benefits of cutting-edge technology with MedLab's new state-of-the-art digital mammogram machine.
To those affected by a hurricane, the damage is far greater than the eye can see. It's the helplessness and uncertainty you feel when you have no electricity or running water. It's the pain of experiencing damage to your home. But there are people right here that can help. We're CG Britke. We're your neighbors. We live here and work here too. We're always ready to answer calls and to process your claims as quickly as possible. So when a storm turns your life upside down, we're here to turn it around. CG Britke. Good like that.
So, do you have your tickets?
What tickets?
Your tickets for UCCI's first ever alumni homecoming. They're on sale now.
Hey, I don't want to miss that. When is it?
October 28th. There'll be a dinner gala, silent auction, live entertainment, and more. It's a chance to reconnect with UCCI, past classmates, and those instructors that helped change your life.
Where do I get my tickets?
At EventPro. They have discounted early bird tickets for only $75 per person, but after September 25th, prices are due to go up.
The alumni homecoming sounds great. I'm going to eventpro.ky right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's back, and it's bigger than ever. The Lions Club of Grand Cayman presents PACE, the annual Delano Hislop Memorial Journey for Life 5K walk, 10K run, and 15K ride event. That's right, parents, kids, young and old. We want you to be a part of the movement to help bring awareness to the fight against prostate and colon cancer. Starting at the Lions Community Center on Sunday, September 19th. Registration fee is only $25 and includes a free shirt and gift bag. The more people that sign up and register, the bigger the fight against prostate and colon cancer. Sunday, September 19th at the Lions Center. Get ready to pace yourself as the Lions Club of Grand Cayman presents the annual Delano Hislop Memorial Journey for Life 5K walk, 10K run, and 15K ride event. For additional information, please feel free to contact 938-1711 or 526-1711. Sign up today on caymanactive.com. For additional information, please email pace@cnw.ky.
The Delano Hislop Memorial Journey for Life is proudly sponsored by Dart Enterprise, Cayman Seafarers, Maples Group, Bodden Holdings, CUC, Water Authority, and Entech.
Listen to the general public.
Your thoughts are just a telephone call away. 1-800-534-8255.
What the public is saying.
Let your voice be heard. And now,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us here on this edition of Talk Today as we go straight to the phones. Hey, welcome. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Dwayne.
Good afternoon. How are you today, man?
I'm fine.
Oh, you sound great, man. Glad to hear from you.
Yes. You see, I want to say first, after this incident happened in the school and the corona case at school children, I think this government needs to take the issue very serious. Those coming in quarantine, they need to maybe open a place where they put them for 14 days. Police monitor. They can't come out.
But again, right? Again, two questions, and I want you to share, but immediately so that we don't forget. You said you want the government to take it seriously. Are we assuming that they're not taking it seriously? I mean, I think that they are. But why do you think they're not?
They are. I have a great trust in
Okay.
the government. I am not here
Okay.
criticizing the government.
Fair enough.
The government are doing their best
Okay.
for the people of this country.
So let me
I
add
have a great trust
in them.
in
Yeah. Good stuff.
in the authorities here that they want
Mhm.
to protect the country. I know the governor is very serious about the issue. I know the premier.
Right.
Minister,
So let me then
Minister-
ask then, right, if I could interject. You then went on to say, take the police. Now, why them? I mean, obviously, we seem to believe that if there's an issue, police said police. But isn't there not another entity? And not a military there. I don't want to bother with guns and uniforms out and about doing anything. This is about a virus and not a war. So why the police? Why do we need the police?
Yeah, because some people are not respecting that they are in quarantine. They go play dominoes. There is certain nationality. How I want to ask this question. You remember the lady, she come in the plane and she have corona and they closed down the airport. How she come out from the airport in Jamaica? That is tell you there is something not right going on in the airport in Jamaica, that they don't test this lady properly. They don't do the right procedures.
Okay, so with that in mind then, right? With that in mind, if you're sharing that and there is a breakdown somewhere for whatever reason, what are we doing? Not just taking up protocols now, but if something has happened, there should be something in place that says if this thing happened and this is going to be the consequence, what are we going to do now? You know, if you have, what's the old saying, the horse is bolted, you got to at least close the gate, you might stop the others, you might be able to retrieve that horse. But even so, are you not going to go after that horse to see if you can get it back? So in this case,
Dwayne,
yes, sir.
It's not a matter who upset, who angry. If there is a country like Jamaica that the Delta broken in, Delta Corona is broken bad in Jamaica. I have family there cousins who told me that the situation is very bad. The authorities, they are not following to do the right process because too much cases, and they need to shut down the flights from Jamaica immediately, and also from Honduras and other countries who affected bad. If somebody coming from Brazil, it's a bad situation there. We need to stop.
But what about England? What about a flight from England?
We need to take a right measures. We don't joke with these things. There is a serious issue in Jamaica, and it's coming to us.
Right. So sorry, and you may not have heard, but just to be as exhaustive as possible, you referenced a couple of countries, and I asked, what about England? I mean, do we shut flights down from there too?
Dwayne, any country, it is broken bad in there, and the situation is not being controlled, and there is not proper test and measures. We shouldn't allow people to come here and put our children in, those local transmitted, they say locally. No, it is not locally. Those people go visit the people in quarantine and get spread it all over the place. And we don't know how many cases in this country now because of those people in quarantine who are responsible. Those people should be going to jail for 3 years.
All right, well, 3, why not 30?
That woman in Bodin Town, the police returned her home and she don't want to go inside the house. That's ridiculous. She needs to go to jail 3 years. Shouldn't be having mercy in anyone who put the life of the people in this country. I put this responsibility in the hand of this government, in the hand of the governor, and they are responsible. And I have a great trust in this government and in His Excellency the Governor. I know he is very serious about this issue. I have trust in the Minister of Health. I know she concerned very well about this country, and we need to take a new measures now, especially about Jamaica, because this country is broken bad. I have cousins, they live there, and they told me it is very bad with Delta in Jamaica, and people are coming here, going playing dominoes, and people are women visiting them in the house and all of that. They have no responsibility. They
But then
put my child and your child in danger. This is going ridiculous in this country. We need to take serious. We don't shy from any nationality. We don't shy from anyone. Could be from my country, Jordan. If it Corona broke bad, we should close the space. We don't allow no Jordanian to come here. Similar to any nationality. It is not about nationalities. It is about protecting the people of this country, and our children come first. Thank you.
Hey, thank you so much. Appreciate you sharing that thought. And like it, a caller will hold his own and share his thoughts. And you may agree, you may not agree, but you may admire his enthusiasm. Well, I would believe and pray and hope and trust and ask that we all act to preserve and promote and protect our democracy. So that, what is that we've probably all heard, First they came for these and nobody said anything, then they came for them, and then they came for them and them and them. And all was left was me when nobody said anything. So, too late then, Bobo. 8949-8037. 949-8037. 1-800-534-8255. I must share that I'm truly honored, privileged, and blessed. Very, very grateful to live in this place where there's so many people from almost everywhere in the world, and for the most part, if you were to assign a statistic, it'd probably be 99.99%, at least in my mind. Almost all of us, loving, kind, wonderful people who want the very best for each other, who see the need to work towards, a very healthy society, not just economically and financially. There's a difference, but socially and politically, a place where we all feel a sense of safety and security. And like the caller alluded to, that means that we got to work together and we got to be willing to accept accountability for our own actions and recognize there's a level of responsibility that we have for our own actions. I reference the police because we're going to be increasingly putting more demands. These are people who probably have lives, even if that individual police officer doesn't have a pet as a fish or a dog or a spouse or a chicken or a child and nothing. It's still a person. And that person can't go constantly, physically nor mentally, and be asking more and more and more of the policing. But maybe fast forward for a second and realize that it's not about policing. I mean, do you want to be confined to your space? Not just because of the cost, the pay to do that, but the cost to you. Why not, as individuals, we say, hey, what do we do? Now, we joke and say, oh, common sense is not common anymore, but should we not know that before we eat, maybe we wash our hands, whether you subscribe to giving a sort of thanks for the food you have, however that's done, but you wash your hands. Maybe we don't know that if we're going to prepare food for others, that we wash our hands properly. And maybe we don't know how to properly do that, or after we use the bathroom. But then again, those are things that can be taught, not beat into our heads, not mandated by law, but by careful instruction at some point. Surely we can't be that old that we can't understand the importance of doing that. But it's more than just that. And then obviously we can see the confused, conflicted mindsets of many. Again, civility, responsibility, accountability, consideration, and love. All right. With that, though, I better show a little deference to Miss Susan, because at the end of the day, when she wears that particular uniform, she says, Pew! So we're going to pause and take that break, and when we come back, we're going straight to the phones. If you want to talk to me, I'll listen to you. If you don't want to talk, guess what? We'll still listen. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
A caring and community spirit, cherished family and cultural values. These are some of the things that still embodies the Caymanian way of life in the Eastern Districts today. Savannah Pharmacy, your neighborhood pharmacy, located in Countryside Shopping Village, is delighted to offer products and services of real value. Whether it's catering to your family's medical needs or carrying apparel, gifts, and beauty products, Savannah Pharmacy provides you with more than just prescriptions. Remember, they're always just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours, including Sundays and holidays. Savannah Pharmacy. For more information, call 946-3336.
Bro,
Do you really have to eat 2 sandwiches for lunch?
No, but one is for dinner. On Tuesdays at Subway, you can get the 2 subs for any size, plus a fountain drink for the price of 1.
Nah, Bobo, that sounds too good to be true. For real though, 2 subs for the price of 1 and a drink?
Each and every Tuesday now until September 28th. Buy any Subway sandwich in any size and a 32-ounce fountain drink and get an equal or lesser value sub for free. For every 2 for Tuesday purchase, be entered to win one of 3 LG 50-inch 4K smart TVs, a Grill Pro, or one of 2 retro bikes, plus many more prizes. Subway's 2 for Tuesdays is in partnership with Pepsi and Progressive Distributors. Prize drawing is September 30th. Terms and conditions apply. See in-store for details.
Freedom, Cayman Brack. Freedom, Little Cayman. Soft breezes, blue waters, no traffic. Unwind and rejuvenate your mind, body, and soul. Sister Island Staycations, a taste of freedom. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer. Each Tuesday and Thursday from 7:30 a.m. to 9 a.m.
The Tuesday and Thursday edition of the Business Buzz is brought to you by Optical Outlook. Visit them at their new location in Anderson Square. Telephone 746-2020. Come see the difference with Optical Outlook.
89.9 Radio Cayman helps you to weather the storm during this hurricane season.
One of the most crucial elements of hurricane preparedness is storm awareness. During the season, it is of utmost importance to pay attention to the latest local weather forecasts, as hurricanes do not suddenly form or strike. There are various methods of advanced notification. Utilizing such may be the difference between a favorable outcome and disaster. Both television and radio serve as excellent mediums with up-to-the-minute storm path information in the wake of a hurricane. Another method of tracking a hurricane may be only arm's length away. Your smartphone or tablet can be your most valuable tool before, during, and after a storm, providing countless numbers of apps with crucial hurricane information. Many apps allow you to track storms with moving radar and satellite imagery, plus offer alerts, current conditions, forecasts, advisories, and even video.
This hurricane preparedness tip was brought to you by your community radio station, Radio Cayman, 89.9 FM.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back, and thank you for joining us. 949-8037 or toll free with the compliments of Flo at 1-800-534-8255. Let's go to the phones. Hey, good afternoon. Welcome. Thanks for calling. Hello. Good afternoon.
Captain.
General, how are you?
I'm not doing too bad. How about yourself?
I am very thankful. Yeah. I'm really, really thankful, man. I just trust and pray the same for you as well, huh?
I guess you might be kind of tired of hearing me coming on the talk show so often.
No, sir. No, sir. Not at all. I only wish that I was smart enough to have extended a more, perhaps with an invitation for you to join me at some point.
Okay, thank you. We'll think about it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but first of all, I want to congratulate, I think it's the Jordanian.
You called earlier? Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think he has a lot of merits to what he say.
Mm-hmm.
And myself, I am not going anymore to sugarcoat the present government. I think it's time now that we call a spade. And the governor as well. What is the population of Cayman, roughly?
Well, we heard the number last time, around about 71,000 and change. But every day there are more and more people in isolation, quarantine, house arrest, whatever it is that we term it these days. And is it increasing? So maybe it's 71 still?
Okay. I was watching the news yesterday, Jamaican news.
Mm-hmm.
they have more virus infections in Jamaica than what we have as a population. They have something like 82,000 people that are infected with the virus. I mean, our officials need to understand that this is no joke. This could get out of control, and before you know it, we got a couple of hundred, could be a few thousand people infected. We need to play hardball, and I will stop short of saying we need something similar to martial law. These people don't care, and indeed, I think it's like a terrorist attack. Come on, you know what time of day it is, man?
Yeah, I hear you. I hear the frustration, but when you say martial law, so tell me exactly in your mind, what are you saying? How do you think that will play out?
I think it will play out after certain hours. You have to be off of the street, just like the lockdown before.
So you're advocating for another lockdown?
Lockdown, but you might need, in this situation that this thing is going to spread, you might need to have a little bit more forceful. I haven't got any ideas together yet, but you need to be taking things more serious. This is not a joke.
I mean,
I'm not trying to make a mountain out of a molehill. This
not at all.
This is a serious thing that we got in our island.
Right. So before we close the borders to flights from places, before we take the people who seemingly can't thus far, and let's assume that there isn't some health issue why they're out and about, and if it is, we properly take them, not arrest them and throw them in prison, but give them the medical help that they need. So before we do all of that to sanction the people who have either inadvertently, deliberately, maliciously, under bribe, corruption, threat, duress, or whatever the reason, overlooked the protocols and allowed people to travel without proper documentation, they themselves have been unwilling to abide to the accepted rules and regulations, so we're not sanctioning them. So before we do all of that, you're going to take all of us, put us in prison again at home, martial law, curfew, put police in the military, patrolling the streets with tanks and guns and all that, and we live in a war zone.
Well, no.
But that's what it sounds like.
No. Hang on. Hang on now. Don't take things out of context. Listen carefully what I'm saying. I didn't say you have to have tanks and guns and all that.
No. I just added a little more inflammatory to it. Yeah, because that's what it can play out to be.
You're writing on the bigger picture.
Yeah.
But you should have your police, your cadets, and all of that patrolling the island to make sure that people are not going out of order in what we are calling for.
Right, but hang on. A couple of things. So we got 1,000 police, 500 cadets, 3,000 military, and they're out patrolling. Now, whether it was 2 people or 2,000, that's the number of people out and about, moving about in the community. Maybe they themselves have this thing and could be spreading it amongst themselves or others. So if you gotta be home, I gotta be home, everybody should be home. I mean, nobody should be out. But why get to that point? Do we not have the civility and the sensibility about ourselves to say, listen, let's be smart about this, right? If we had enjoyed a period of success prior, and if this action causes this, then reverse that action. Don't revert to a space and a place where you're putting people's health and well-being at stake. Not just their mental health, but we even ignore that. We'll probably take somebody's little scrape that they got and take that more seriously than the person who is in a space and saying, boy, you know what, these 4 walls are closed in. And you say, well, you're not 4 walls, you're on 40 acres, and you're outside in the fresh air. No, boy, I feel in it. We ignore that impact on the society and on the person because we don't see the emotional consequence.
What would it take for me to instill into your mind that we have a lot of people that just don't care? You agree with that?
Well, you have very little to do because I think we see that action every day. Look at how many people go hungry and we throw away food. Look at how many people go homeless and we turn a blind eye. Look at how many people have a flat tire and we pretend we don't see them. So there are a lot of inconsiderate, would you allow me to say the word, ignorant, insensitive people. There's some of them, if we were nice, we could give them a good slap, virtual or otherwise. But the question is, right, if we have these people...
No.
Yes, sir.
What the question is this. Two wrongs do not make one right.
There you go.
Okay?
But
So
two left
what
hooks
is
and an uppercut might correct behavior.
I'm sorry?
I just being very deliberate with you because I had the great... I say two left hooks and an uppercut might make something. And I say that to say that having police and the military patrolling with guns and helicopters don't correct anything, you know. If our behavior...
Take what I say out of context.
No.
I didn't say with guns and all that.
No.
But the presence of law enforcement.
But the law enforcement should be us as a people respecting the rule of law.
Come on now. You were saying that we are all respectful people, that all of us care about this thing?
I would like to believe, the people in my circle do.
Well, if you believe that, what happened to the lady that came here knowing that she had it? How do you justify that?
Okay, good question. So if this thing happened, let's say it was just a simple oversight, people are really taxed, stressed, and there was nothing. Okay, then we can revisit. But have we looked at to say, and this is based on your thing, I'm glad you mentioned it. What if somebody said to somebody, here is some money, here's a threat, here's coercion, here's something that caused this thing to happen, whether it's in this particular instance, but it goes through checkpoint 1, checkpoint 2, different little things happen, and if there is an inability to catch it, then we need to figure out why that is. But in the same time, if it passed through people, are the people who were responsible to catch this thing didn't, what are we doing, to them? Are they going to be fired? Are they going to be in prison? Are they going to be docked their pay? Are they going to be counseled? Are they going to be retrained? But no, we hide and lie and cheat and steal and ignore A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. And then George or Peter or Mike say something because all they said is, well, what is it going to be like, right? And
you know what I want to say about this thing, right? You can say as much as you want to say. I respect what you say because we can agree to disagree, okay?
Yes, sir, but I have the greatest respect for you.
Right. But what I'm saying is this. My personal opinion, which I am entitled to,
of course,
this is nothing less than what I would call a terrorist attack. Because when you terrify people, if you wake up in a couple of days and find out that we got 300-400 people infected, come on, look at the psychological impact it's going to have.
Yep.
This is what we're talking about. So this cannot be just treated and washed under, the counter like, oh, and that's all right, and just one, and hopefully no more.
No.
Look, that's what Jamaica was hoping for, that they didn't have anything like what they got now, but look how it spread.
Well, I appreciate what you share, man. And this is where I am increasingly asking ourselves as people, should we not be loving, more kind, caring, and considerate of each other, and exercise the fact that we shouldn't have to have a law or the threat of imprisonment to do the right thing. A little respect and love will go a long way. And if there are those of us who can't behave, then there should be, the consequences. The consequences have been identified. Hey, thank you, sir. I take license, but only because I know you are the great intellect that you are. With that, we'll pause and take the news break. When we come back, more talk today.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice. Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
With your latest headlines, I'm Felicia Rankin-Solins. Our government press briefing is scheduled for 5 p.m. today in response to the latest news that a Year 6 student at Georgetown Primary School has tested positive for COVID-19. Tracking and tracing began yesterday, and so far other members of the child's household have not tested positive. In international news, the number of extremely hot days every year when the temperature reaches 122 degrees Fahrenheit has doubled since the 1980s. They also now happen in more areas of the world than before. On average, between 1980 and 2009, temperatures passed 122 degrees Fahrenheit about 14 days a year. The number rose to 26 days a year between 2010 and 2019. A new global survey illustrates the depth of anxiety many young people are feeling about climate change. Nearly 60% of young people approached said they felt very worried or extremely worried. More than 45% of those questioned said feelings about the climate affected their daily lives. 3/4 of them said they thought the future was frightening. Over half, 56%, say they think humanity is doomed. Cows can be toilet trained in order to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, researchers have said. In the study, which took place in Germany, scientists trained the animals to use a designated toilet dubbed the Mulu. Their urine was then collected and treated. The ammonia from cows' urine turns into greenhouse gas nitrous oxide when it's mixed with soil. Worldwide, about 10% of all greenhouse gas emissions from human activities comes from cattle. These are your headlines. I'm Felicia Rankin-Sollins.
For the latest in news and information,
follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky.
Listen to the general public.
Your thoughts are just a telephone call away. 1-800-534-8255.
What the public is saying.
Let your voice be heard. And now,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. And that last caller, man, I sometimes realize how passionate and wonderfully involved and concerned that people are. And you know what? When you get that sort of perception of a person's intelligence and interest, it really encourages you to want to exchange. Because I think as we look at things, maybe sometimes it's out of frustration that we see why is it others can't understand what is transpiring. Why can't we behave like everybody else and be more sensitive and sensible and considerate? Now, there are times too, out of that sense of greater fear that we feel, and we think, well, this might be the answer. Now, words like lockdown and martial law and the like are probably serious words to many. For others, it's just, a calling. I mean, think of it, if you're the police commissioner and you think about the easy way to control people on the roads is to block the road, that makes it easier initially. This road is impossible. Now, we've got a lot to consider, man, and like the callers before who have the greatest respect for our political leadership and the greatest confidence, we share that, and that is very encouraging. But then are we looking at this and realizing that here on Grand Cayman, what concerns are we having for our sister islands? So some of us here who may or may not have been vaccinated, believing that we're relatively safe. That's a sense of almost elation. Then we travel from here to the sister islands unknowingly, causing someone there to be infected. The panic that could prevail. Very, very understandable how our emotions can really get the best of us at times. 949-8037, 1-800-534-8255, 949-8037, or WhatsApp 925-3261. I think what is very evident is the growing divide that we are finding in our society. On one hand, allegations that those who are unvaccinated, putting the vaccinated at risk. Allegations on the other that the vaccinated may have become increasingly perhaps complacent because they have a greater level of protection and may, unknowingly, because they don't have any signs of symptoms, they don't feel any way ill, and unfortunately may feel it as well. Let's go to the phones, huh? Welcome, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Hi, good afternoon.
How are you today? Good afternoon.
I'm doing great. I'm calling in reference into the borders opening.
Sure.
I am, for one, I am in support of the borders opening on October the 14th.
Okay.
We just need to put some very stringent stuff and procedures in place. And we have to really look back at the fact that, if we don't open our borders on October the 14th, since we have already gave the world a date when the borders will be completely open, this business will never come back to Cayman. And we need to, for me, it's just my opinion, we need to stand the ground on whatever our opinion is, and we should not allow ourselves to be persuaded not to open the borders. But at the end of the day, we need not to look at being re-elected the next 4 years. We need to start doing what is best for the Cayman Islands. And for me, what is best for the Cayman Islands is to open our borders and be very much minded that these things will never go away. It's just like cancer. It ain't going to go away. It's just like AIDS. It's not going to go away. But at the same time, we need to protect ourselves from this horrible disease that has come to light.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to stop, more or less focusing ourselves on being reelected in the next 4 years and look at what is best for the people of this country. You will find a lot of people that will tell you not to open it, because there's a lot of people that is benefiting particularly off of this tourism revenue that is being handed out. And this country needs to stop giving out for everything that comes around. I know that there are people that is hardworking like myself, and during these kind of pandemics, need as much help as they can get. But there's got to be a time when we got to say enough is enough.
Right.
And let's give it a try. I mean, every other country that I know has practically tried it, even if they had to close after. But give it a try. Just put some strong rules and regulations in place and stand to them. If you breach it, you're fined and imprisonment. You will go. We don't have to worry about if it's our father or their son. It's just like when we take up a job as a police officer. If we have to do an arrest, we have to do an arrest.
Because the law's been broken, right?
Because the law has been there and you have broken the law. So let's not be afraid from opening the borders. I think the country needs it because the country needs money coming in. It's just like myself, you, or anyone else. If you're not working and you're not getting paid, you don't expect no money to go into your account. The country's the same way. If you're giving away and giving away and giving away and nothing is coming in, then you won't have anything in your coffers either.
Yeah.
So we need to stop some of the things that we're doing. We need to stand strong for what we believe in and just do the right thing for what is beneficial to the country and its people. Thank you, and you have a great day. And I'll wait for anyone who wants to respond.
Thank you, too. Thank you. Enjoy your afternoon.
And same to you.
Okay.
God bless.
God bless. Yeah. Hey, good afternoon. Welcome. Thanks for calling.
Hi, Sterling. How are you?
I'm very thankful. Yeah. How about you?
I can just imagine how many people is on anxiety medication at the present time, including myself.
Boy, thank God for dark chocolate.
I know, and I don't like dark chocolate. That's my problem.
Oh, man. You don't know what you're missing. I'm hearing from you.
I am not here to degrade anyone.
No.
Believe me. We all here has a good heart from day one, Sterling. We open our doors, we welcome everybody, we offer them jobs and come to live with us and all of that good stuff. But Sterling, I believe it has been taken for granted because now that so many things are happening left, right, and center, nobody wants to abide by rules and regulations because when they came here, Cayman is an easy-going place. We can practically do anything and get away with it. That kind of conversation just travels through the whole world to a degree. And Sterling, in spite of what's happening right now with this COVID, we cannot, nowhere under the sun, sit back and just still show all this love and compassion and welcome to the Cayman Islands and we don't have anything to say or have meetings to hear what the people of this island feel. We put these people in government year after year, and when they put them in, we are practically forgotten. They don't come out and let's hear what the people of the island wants to say. We got to come out here and look like idiots on the radio and idiots on Facebook and under the great trees and all that kind of stuff, and we're not being heard. And then again, you say we're just a bunch of idiots. We don't know what we're talking about. You understand? All that got to be stopped because, Sterling, we have been on the back burner here in this island for many years. And it seems like we are sitting on the back burners again. We have no say. And we have just opened the floodgates. And we, as the few Caymaners that is left, has no say Tom, Dick, and Harry can have they say, and they can get away with this say. All I'm trying to say is, Sterling, all of this kindness that we have shown people to come to our shores to live here, they have broken it in every capacity. They have no respect for the country, have no respect for the people, and to know that Cayman is a God-fearing country. So we're going to do what we think is best. We're going to just interfere and just keep everybody head just swinging left, right, and center, because we are, as the Caymanians living here and the foreigners, they are too comfortable. No, we got to start something. What something is, Sterling? I don't know. People can figure it out for their own selves. And Sterling, about opening the borders, let me tell you something. I have never heard of anyone drop down hungry since we've been fighting this COVID here in the Cayman that I know of. And to open up this border, it's going to get, I would say, worse than what it is. People are saying that the government has nothing coming in. We don't know what the government got coming in. And we will never know what the government got coming in. And we will never know what the figure is in that glass house for their money for the island and whatever. So I'm just saying today that we need to take back all this kindness and get stormed and say, you know what? This is my country.
You can be fair, right, and firm. I mean, you can still be kind and loving, and still, ensure that. Yeah.
But it takes it for weakness. They take it for our weakness. So they take our kindness and our love and our concern and our giving and the protection that they get here from our police department. And even though they say that the police is corrupt and they want to protect who they want to protect, you understand? But the fact of the matter is, Sterling, this virus ain't going nowhere right now. So we all got to work together and try to keep it under control. And if they think by opening the borders, we're going to get it under control, they're making a sad mistake to a degree. Because I thought that they say who's going to come in here has to be vaccinated. And now they're saying that the vaccination doing all that stop the virus and the vaccine do this and the vaccine do that. You just don't know what to believe. You don't know what to believe. So I just want to say to my people today in this Cayman Island, pull up your big time, put on your mask, do your sanitizer of your hands, keep a distance, and respect other people when you come across them throughout the stores, on the road, or wherever the case may be. We all have to live here. And I hope that, Sterling, that we don't have to go and get a tub and go in our waterfront and put a few dozen human beings on them and send them down the road, which would be not a Cayman kind. A Cayman need to stop making people believe that we can fix all of the expats' problem and can't fix our own problem that we have here in this island. I mean, look at the money we just spent on Thursday, the money the government is going to spend for Thursday going week here. I ain't need some of that money. I'm hungry. They're getting their 3 meals a day, and they got the air conditioning and so forth. I burn up in my house all day with no AC on until time to go to bed. I put on my little bit in the unit because my light bill is so high. One person, $250. Your salary taking you to the following month. And they're going to cost them this kind of money. The government need to wake up, man. All of them, past, present, and future.
Right.
I just want to say, man, wake up. Thank you, Sterling.
Thank you, too. You too as well. Okay. Bye-bye. Alrighty, well, I know we got callers, but we also got the quarter past break, so let's do that first. Stay tuned and join us right after, please.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette, brought to you by the Ministry of Tourism and Transport. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
James William Algernon Ryan, JP, 1913 to 2007. Mr. Algie Ryan served for 17 years as head teacher in Cayman Brac. He also had a night school and taught commercial subjects, including typing and accounting. He later became a realtor, an attorney, and an insurance agent. He is today the longest-serving realtor in the Cayman Islands. He operated a weekly boat service between Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, transporting mail, cargo, and passengers. Later, he was a director of Little Cayman Enterprises, the company that developed the Southern Cross Club, the first guest facility on Little Cayman. In the early 1960s, he leased land and oversaw the construction of the Edward Bodden Airfield in Little Cayman, which is still in use today. He served for a time in the Legislative Assembly as a nominated member.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette, brought to you by the Ministry of Tourism and Transport. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Wouldn't it have been grand if you had purchased land 30 years ago? It may not be 2020, but a perfect vision has never been more clear. Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, poised for growth with an eye on the future. Your land, your history, your future. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Busy, busy, busy. Feel like there's not just enough hours in the day. Savannah Pharmacy, service to make your life easier. Now you can WhatsApp your prescription order to 929-5045. And pickup is just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours including Sundays and holidays. WhatsApp your prescription order to 929-5045. Savannah Pharmacy, wholesome values with modern conveniences.
The HSA Specialist Clinic has relocated to a new, modern, state-of-the-art facility at Smith Road Center to offer you a better patient experience. Receive care from top specialists in chiropractic, complementary and alternative medicine, neurology, ENT, urology, pain management, and more. Our orthopedic and telemedicine clinics remain at the Cayman Islands Hospital campus. Please remember to bring your own face mask when visiting any HSA location. Visit our website, hsa.ky, to learn more. At the HSA, you matter to us.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back, and thanks for joining us. And we're going to go straight to your phones. Welcome. Thank you for calling.
Good afternoon. How you doing?
Not bad, not bad. How are you today?
Well, you in Japanese.
God has been gracious to us all.
Basically, there's two things I see with this traveling business that I don't really agree with.
Mm-hmm.
Number one is that people are coming in without being vaccinated. I mean, they're tested before they leave. They come here, they're tested again. They go in quarantine 14 days.
Mm-hmm.
But I would think no one should be able to come in at all unless they have the vaccine. That's number one. The other thing is, I went away in June, came back 1st July, and I'm vaccinated. I come in negative. I was tested, before I left where I was, and I came in negative.
Mm-hmm.
But at the airport, they took me straight to my house and quarantined me 5 days.
Mm-hmm.
They should have checked me when I got in too. And they're saying that's done because it could take 3 or 4 days for that to set in. That's why they send you home.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, I don't agree with that. I should have been tested as I came in because I have a brother-in-law or something like that came in 2 weeks before me, had the vaccines, came in, and it happened again this week. On the news, I heard where people came in, went for the 5-day quarantine, and go back and they're positive. So if I came in, I was positive, and I'm on a flight, and it shows up, then I could have infected a lot of people. I don't agree with that at all. I think they should test you again when you come in too. As you get in, and then test you after the 5 days.
Mm.
You understand? To double check you. That's what I would do. But, the government is basically got their way of doing things, and we're not all alike, and we all have differences, but we all have to unite and get the best ideas out from each other's head.
Right.
Each one teach one.
Right.
And I think by now, people that are sensible enough know that this COVID is all biowarfare. That's what it is. I don't see that a long time.
Well,
and governments will work with the same people that are dealing with that because that's the billionaires,
mm-hmm.
and they run the government.
Well, certainly.
We got elected representatives, but who they have a meeting with? Chamber of Commerce. Every government gets in, they go with the oil people, the billionaires that got businesses, and that's how the world is run. It's been run like that from time I was born.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But yes, I see some. But I see some through my prayers. I see that I believe you'll soon see some people getting arrested for this. For the same thing. Because what I look at the sequence with me, when it first started out, the COVID-19 was killing more, I was taking more the older people. Then they had the other one come out, taking more the middle-aged and younger people. Now they got the one hitting the children. You understand? That tells me that somebody is making this. And it's being spread in a way that, to me, it's more of a bacteria than a virus.
Well,
there's a flu going around, There was a flu going around here for a couple of weeks. I had a touch of it. Other people had it. And another thing I said, I'm going to the hospital for a flu. I don't go, period. But if anybody goes to the hospital for a flu now, you know what I'm going to tell you. You got COVID.
Yeah.
So it's a nightmare for them that don't understand how it is, but I understand it. It don't frighten me. I've had the vaccine. And they talk about bringing a booster again. I don't think I'd be taking more vaccines. I don't think so. Because I'll tell you, I had effects from the first one, made me very nauseated, caused me to vomit, which is something I ever did in my life. The second one gave me shivers and shakes and cold sweat and a diarrhea.
But if you...
That's what the second one did me.
Right.
My body don't want it. I don't take medications. I don't go to doctors.
Right. But if you said, that you won't take it again and wish you hadn't taken it, whatever that you said in the many conversations, but then you say also, well, anybody who come in there should take it. I mean, what's good for the goose, good for the gander, right?
Because you know why? They're telling anybody here to take it. Don't love anybody to fly, but I took it because I had to fly. Right. To go for other medical purposes, you understand? But I don't feel like taking another one.
Right. Well,
I don't trust what's in the vaccine.
Well, there you go.
It's a serious thing to think about. You know? And it's been affecting other people. Not a lot, but other people have been affected by it.
Right.
But anyway, that's my piece for the day. And
thank you.
I'll listen to the show as it goes on.
Thank you too. Very much appreciate it, and pray we're all safe. Let's take the other call though. Good afternoon. Respectfully, thank you so much for calling us.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Can you hear me okay?
Excuse me?
Can you hear me okay? I'm not hearing... Do you hear me okay? Yeah, sorry. I'm not...
Okay, I'm on the speaker.
No, I was asking if she was hearing me okay, because... okay, but thank you so much, Mom.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, no, I can hear you fine. I just... But thank you so much for calling. Thank you so much.
Oh, okay. My first time on the show.
Okay.
And I want to thank Alden for keeping us safe from the COVID.
Right. Well, I want to thank God. Yeah.
Right. And I want to also thank Mr. Panton also to trying his best and for us to make some money to open up the country and everything. But my question is, when we receiving people when the border open, is there we gonna like enforce people to wear their mask, or are we just gonna let them run free?
What do you think we should do?
I think we should let people wear masks.
What do you think we will do? Let them run free?
Excuse me?
What do you think we will do?
Wear masks.
Yeah, that's what we should do, but I think that's what we will do.
Not everyone.
Not
everyone. Another question is, most of our guests is from the U.S. and right now there's a lot of cancellation going on with booking for November, December, and on because they are not electronic. Their vaccination is not electronic. So how they gonna make sure that people can come in and they can prove that their vaccination is legit?
What do you think about closing the borders and canceling all the flights from places? Stopping all the flights. What do you think about closing the borders or keeping the borders closed? I don't think that they're closed anyway because people come in all the time, it seems like, but closing them, no more flights in and out. What do you think about that?
Well, I don't understand what you're saying.
Okay, sorry. Maybe what would be your view on if the government says for the next X time, 2 days, 2 weeks, no more planes in and out of here? You know, bringing food in emergency, but no more people coming in for any reason, vacation, returning otherwise.
Yes.
What do you think of that?
probably you can answer this question because I can't answer. I can't hear.
Okay.
I can't hear clearly.
Yeah, fair enough. Sorry, I can't hear you, Miss Souza.
No, I don't have to.
Yeah, what else would you want to share with us, Mom? You talk and I listen. Sorry, you go ahead. I won't ask any questions.
I'm listening to you. What I'm saying, like, when, how can the Americans come in with their electronic, with their vaccination card, but it's not electronic as the government requires?
Mm-hmm.
So how are you gonna prove that it's legit? It's not fake.
Right. Even the paper or the electronic copy could be somehow, not legit, right?
Yeah, but I'm going after what Gus is emailing and saying to me that they have to cancel their reservation and cancel their flight because they're, in the U.S. they're not electronic, so they can't come because their vaccination is not in the system for the government, Cayman government, to see that it's not it's original or what they want to call it.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's a good thing, We've elected very intelligent people, and they have appointed people. I mean, there was even a conference call at some point, according to the press releases, with experts from the UK. So, we got good people on it, man. They know everything about everything, so they're going to keep us informed, Any final comments, Mom?
No, that's all for now.
All right, well, thank you so much, and I pray that you, like the rest of us, continue to be safe and well. Thank you so much, Mom.
Yeah. Okay, bye-bye.
God bless. Let's take one more call. Good afternoon, welcome. Thanks for calling.
Mr. Sterling, good evening.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
I know, good, but I'm good.
Well, one thing that will make Westby better,
And they say the wise come from the east.
You know how do we know that? Because it's settled in the west.
Yeah, the police come from the east too.
No, my friend, man. We have a blessed people.
Okay, make I tell you what I want to do. I can take the government roll on right now. Anybody coming into the country, be fully vaccinated, 14 days quarantine, and if you're not from here, you pay for your quarantine time. Do that from now till December. Everything fine and down there. Stop all the flights coming in from every way until December. They got breadfruit, they got fish, they got turtle meat. I think conchs on now, and lobsters next month.
So, December the 1st or December 31st? What time in December?
I don't know, because I don't go fishing.
No, sorry. No. You said nobody in and out. We don't open up until December.
Right.
So you were talking about December the 1st, December the 15th, December 31st. I mean, like 1st of December, middle of December, end of December.
The middle of December.
Okay. The high season normally used to be what, December 15th, right? That's what we used to say, right?
Well,
way back when.
We used to say from the ending of November. Used to be high season, but anyhow, that part not important. But stop the flights from coming in till December.
All the flights
coming in fully vaccinated, every flight except cargo. That's different. But I talk about passenger flight.
Okay.
Only for emergencies. Fully vaccinated, and everybody pay for their quarantine. Wear your mask, social distance, and sanitize from now till December, and see how that works. And I know it'll work because remember now it's in the community, Mr. Sterling. It's in the community now, and then we got breeze blowing. Okay, so have a good evening. I want to hear what somebody else saying.
Yeah, sir. Thank you too for that. All right, let's pause quickly, take a short break, and when we come back, more talk today.
For medical lab services in Cayman, go straight to MedLab. Blood test, x-ray, and mammogram, all of that is MedLab. Affordable fees and friendly service, a full professional team. MedLab is always comfortable, MedLab is always clean. for medical lab services in Cayman. MedLab.
Call 949-7331 and ask about MedLab's new state-of-the-art digital mammogram machine.
You see how hard it's raining?
Yeah, and I don't have time to fight traffic and get my lunch from Subway. I have so much work to do.
Why don't you order Subway by using the Let's Eat or Bento app? Save time, stay dry, and get your sandwich fast.
I never thought of that. Great idea. I'm going to order now.
Order me a veggie pizza while you're at it.
And a cookie platter for the office.
Too busy at work or home? Is the rainy weather stopping you from dining out? Order your favorite Subway sandwich, wrap, or pizza through the Let's Eat or Bento app with fast and reliable delivery. Subway, eat fresh.
Save every day with FedEx. Get 40% off when you ship using FedEx International Priority and an additional 5% off on your next shipment. Visit us. Visit FedEx.com keyword Caribbean discount to learn more.
20 years.
Remember when Crew Road had no median and Linford Pearson was only 2 lanes?
We do.
When Dirty Reeds was down the street?
We do.
We have been there for the falls, the growth, and the rise. When your body and mind needed to change, Powerhouse Gym has been here. We've skated with you. Your first date, your daughter's first time on skates, your son's first strike. From football to squash, to karate and hockey, to bowling and concerts, and everything in between.
For 20 years,
so much has changed, some for the good and some not so much. Through it all, King Sports Center has been here for you, for Cayman.
King Sports Center, celebrating 20 years as Cayman's home for fitness, recreation, and relaxation.
Do you have plans to travel to the UK? You must provide a letter of certification from Public Health and your vaccination certificate issued in the Cayman Islands. If traveling to the UK via the Bahamas, the United States, Canada, Jamaica, or any other Amber List country. If you are traveling directly to the UK from Cayman, no letter of certification is necessary. Letters of certification may be requested by emailing vaccinecertification@hsa.ky. Travelers must attach a copy of their vaccination card as a screenshot attached to their email request. All requests will take 3 business days to process, and letters will only be issued within 3 weeks of a person's date of travel. Letters of certification are only needed if traveling to the UK via any Amber List country. Travelers to the UK coming directly from the Cayman Islands do not require a letter of certification.
For information that matters to you, the people. Hear from the government, the opposition, independents, and other experts on issues and solutions that affect you.
For the record.
Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, tune into 89.9 and 93.9 FM for Cayman's Straight Talk Morning Show. For the record.
I invite you to join me for the record. You are invited to be a part of this interesting and informative show. Embrace the opportunity to dialogue with your legislators, policymakers, and those charged with policy implementation.
For the record.
Brought to you by
Coca-Cola. Available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga Distributors.
Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola.
Talk today.
But I do have some questions.
Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. As you go to the phones, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon. Have you or anybody else watched the Jamaica news recently to see how they're not really being able to cope with the COVID that well? This morning, I was watching on the TV. It was a mental health nurse. She had a baby, and 3 weeks after that, she got COVID and she died. Now, that is really sad, very sad. And they have 48 nurses who they had to put in quarantine because they had to tend to the COVID patients in the hospital. And they're short of nurses because of having to put these 48 nurses in quarantine and then having to call back some of the nurses who were on vacation. Now, we talk about we can handle it. We rate it. They think they rate it. How many people a day are they planning on bringing in? Is it 1,000 or more? And I don't care who comes here, whoever comes in, they need to be fully vaccinated and they need to be quarantined for the 14 days. they should be able to arrange something in the hotel or wherever they're going to stay to be quarantined that they can do okay there.
Mm-hmm.
Because as long as they come here and they don't put them in quarantine and it starts spreading left, right, and center, it's the poor Caymanians who will be the ones that will suffer.
Mm.
We've been losing too many Caymanians too fast as it is now, and we need to think more than twice, because I sure as hell don't want to lose either one of my children, my husband, or any of my relatives from COVID because of negligence. They talk about, more people die from cancer and heart attack and the flu and this and that. Yeah, but none of them have spread like how the COVID has, because that's gone completely all over the globe, killing people left, right, and center. Some people got it, you don't even know they have it, and then this other one kept it. That's what's happening now. We have at least 3 people now who say didn't travel and they have COVID. They need to give us more details about these people, who they are, where they are, because if people are breaking the quarantine, how are we going to know that this is somebody that's supposed to be in quarantine and we're seeing them there to report on? You can't do it if you don't give you more information than what they're giving, and they're supposed to give you more information. It shouldn't be such a big secret because it's a killer and everybody knows that. So I want to hear what you got to say now.
All right, well, this is what I'll share. Thank you for your perspective, and certainly invite others to kind of weigh in on it. Thanks much, Mom.
You're welcome.
Okay, let's go to the next line. Good afternoon. Welcome. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, Dwayne, it goes right back to what I was trying to say.
Yes, Mom.
You need to put some stringent policies in place. And one of the main things is that the people should be able to remain in quarantine for 14 days. Have their GPS and be able to finance the quarantine. Government should not be allowed to finance that quarantine. They should be able to, wherever they're going, they should be able to finance that.
Yeah. Should we increase that time from 14 days to maybe 18? I mean, there were instances
and that is not a bad idea. But I don't think, and while I'm not saying that we are ready for the borders to open, but I don't think not opening on October 14th is going to keep COVID from coming in if you don't have the stringent policies in place.
Right.
You can open it on December 1st. You could open it next year, December 1st. It doesn't really matter. If you don't have the policies in place, the people will still be coming in, and you will still have to be enduring what we're enduring now.
Right.
So the policies must be put in place, and anyone found breaking those policies must pay the consequence.
Yeah. What would those policies look, or some of them, to your mind, what would they look like?
Well, like I said, the GPS should continue.
Right.
We could increase the quarantine thing.
Okay.
And I think if you even say increase the quarantine, say even for 20 days, right, including weekends, not including weekends, including weekends, for 20 days, right? You'll be tested then before you're released, like they're doing now, right? By the Travel Cayman, which I think is doing a great job.
Right.
You know, I must give them a lot of credit.
Indeed.
I've seen them, the way they do their job, and I think the staff is doing a wonderful job. And like I said, it doesn't really matter to me when the borders are open, but you change the date of the borders since the date has already been worldwide now, 14 October. What benefits to change that date now do the country have? What are the losses that the country have? I mean, it's just like I tried to say. If you are putting out all of these dollars and you're not got none coming in, you're so broke. I mean, let's face it.
But what are the costs?
We need the funds to come in, or we need the borders to open. I tell you what I heard a man say a couple of days ago, and he was speaking about it in Foster's. He said one of the mainest things that is coming into our country now, even with our borders closed, is the ganja. And I'm not talking about it, but I'm just saying what I overheard. And he said the borders are still 75% closed. Now, how this man knew that, I don't know. But that was a conversation I overheard in the Republic's Westway.
Well, the question is asked. I mean, we
right? So this is what I'm saying. While the borders is even still halfway closed or 75% closed, illegal activity probably still going on around the borders. And no border probably not even know anything about it.
Well, if we're all focused...
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
no, I hear you.
All I'm saying is, I'm not against the borders opening because I do believe at some point we need to open the borders. And you will find people that not going to be pleased with the borders opening. And I am, for one, not 100% pleased either. But I, for one, knows business has to continue. Because if you're putting out funds every day, it's like me or you going to the bank every day and drawing, and we're not getting nothing to put back. Our account will soon be finished too.
Yep.
So, I mean, this is how I stand to look at it. Put the stringent policies in place. And don't be afraid if you break it. You enforce it. And once the people realize that the government of the day and its people are going to see that the policies are going to be enforced, if you're not straight, brother, you ain't coming. I'm telling you that.
All right.
If you're not straight, you're not coming.
Yep.
But we have always known for soft-hearted people. We're kind, we're loving, and the politicians are known for working hard to get re-elected in the next 4 years. So these are the kind of things that people look at us as, right? So instead of people saying that about us now, because we have some of the best policies on our records, is what we have, The Cayman Islands have some of the best policies on our records. But, majority of them are not being enforced.
Yeah, well, again, it comes back to...
What we need is not put them on the books. Enforce them when they're broken. It is just like I used it earlier in reference to a police officer. When you're a police officer, we have to swear that even if our mother breaks the law, sad, but we have to do our job. And that's where it comes back to.
Right.
You need to put these policies in place, and by now they should have had it in place, because we're just about a month away from hopefully the borders being open. Because like I said, while I may not support it a whole 100%, I for one know it has to open. But no matter when we open it, we need to have those strict, stringent policies in place and make up our mind that when we put them on the books, we're going to enforce them for anyone if they breach it.
Right. All right.
Don't be soft-hearted like how they call most of us Caymanians. Stand our grounds. We are leaders, and we must lead by example. And it's just that simple.
Right.
So I, for one, look forward for the borders opening, but I, for one, look forward to be safe as well.
All right. Thanks, son.
I know we have a stable government. We have a sensible government. And I will have to join hearts and hands with the lady before that said she wanted to thank Mr. Alden for, making his stringent policies. He kept it in order. Even if it was just by word of mouth. He stood up for what he believed in. And let's give him credit where credit is due. And we must do the same. This government must do the same. Stand up for what they believe in. So if they feel trapped, it's best to change the date, then do what they feel. But for me, as a resident of this country, born and bred at that, I am one that support the opening of the borders on the 14th. But I do believe that the stringent policies must be put in place, and whatever is put in place must not be afraid to enforce when it's necessary.
Right. Well, thank you. Thank you for that. And to our callers, we'll just quickly pause, and when we come back, we'll join you. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
a caring and community spirit, cherished family and cultural values. These are some of the things that still embodies the Caymanian way of life in the Eastern Districts today. Savannah Pharmacy, your neighborhood pharmacy, located in Countryside Shopping Village, is delighted to offer products and services of real value. Whether it's catering to your family's medical needs or carrying apparel, gifts, and beauty products, Savannah Pharmacy provides you with more than just prescriptions. Remember, they're always just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours, including Sundays and holidays. Savannah Pharmacy. For more information, call 946-3336.
For medical lab services in Cayman, go straight to MedLab.
For a full range of medical services, pleasant, clean and comfortable environment, no long lines and affordable fees, visit MedLab at the Smith Road Plaza. Open Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. and half day on Saturdays. Call 949-7331 to make your appointment.
For medical lab services in Cayman, MedLab.
Ask our professional team about the benefits of cutting-edge technology with MedLab's new state-of-the-art digital mammogram machine.
Look at you, listening to the radio, tuning in, getting stuff done. Total doer. Maybe you're driving, maybe you're getting your oil changed, or grabbing some chicken. Maybe you're doing something that's nobody's business but yours. Hey, that's cool. We're all doing something. Now you can join a whole new community of doers doing more on findyellow.com. With custom search, local experts, and trusted reviews, whatever you're doing, get it done on findyellow.com.
The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. We're here for you. We are a non-for-profit member-centric plan with a democratically elected volunteer board of trustees representing all sectors of the Cayman Islands economy. Chamber Pension has an all-in expense ratio of 0.72% over 16,000 members, $430 million in assets under management. We were the first multi-employer pension plan approved by the regulator in the late 1990s. And today, we are still strong, secure, and are here for employees and employers alike. If you would like to join or request further information, visit chamberpension.ky. And for information as it happens, follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram. Email admin@pensions.ky or call 745-7630. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. We're here for you. Your Radio Cayman 6 p.m. news, Monday through Friday, is brought to you by Logic, your life connected.
When we celebrate our connections to the diversity of people from all walks of life striving for recovery, we find support and courage to speak up for inclusion, respect, and opportunity. This September, celebrate National Recovery Month. Recovery is for everyone, every person, every family, every community. Call the Department of Counseling Services, Caribbean Haven Residential Center at 947-9992 for information on treatment.
Talk today.
But I do have some questions.
Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back, and thanks for joining us. And thanks too to Dr. Stephen Tomlinson for joining us. And as a practicing physician, we know that his patients come first. So just before we go to the calls and welcome, I want to publicly say thanks for coming on board and joining us this afternoon. As we listen to our calls, Dr. Tomlinson, maybe we get into some discussion as well.
Yeah, and thanks a lot for having me. But this thing sounds really hard. I hope my voice doesn't sound this way.
We will take care. No, man, you're good.
Okay.
Man. You're good.
Yeah, thank you. I know that you were expecting me earlier. But
fine.
what has happened, since, I'd say, a week or two ago, I've been inundated by calls and people coming to the clinic. Most people thought that I'd retired when I sold the hospital. But, someone found out where I was, and man, oh man. As a matter of fact, Sterling, I tried to retire, but when was that? August of 2020, I tried to retire, and my retirement lasted only 2 days. Can you imagine?
Well, maybe in time, but we're glad to know you're still practicing. Let's join the callers, though, and hear their contributions. Hey, good afternoon and welcome. Thanks for calling. Good afternoon. Okay. Hi, good afternoon.
Afternoon, sir. How you doing, man?
Not bad, not bad. How are you?
All right, not bad. You know, I was just listening to the radio show or whatever, and, you know, I was listening to the last caller, her ending part when she was saying one thing with Alden, you know, he made sure he put his foot down and he did what he had to do, you know, and my point of view about it, I think where they went wrong is when they're giving people a responsibility to self-quarantine where they want to and all that stuff. You know, and how I see it, if you truly want to fly in these times, these, you know, serious times, what is going on, like, you have to obey every country rules. If you want to come to the Cayman Islands, you book yourself into a government facility and you quarantine. How can you leave human beings with no restriction, nobody overseeing to say, oh, stay in your house for 5 days or 14 days? Like, come on, be humans with the natural instinct, oh, you're going to sneak out, go outside, go around the back, probably do a little thing, nobody not going to see you. Like, that's the most natural instinct of a human. You're going to test it, you know? So it's like, I think that's where we went wrong. And I think we need to take a look at what Alden did and take a little page out of his book. You know what I mean? Because this government only took over this year and he only left this year. You know what I'm saying? So I don't see why the quick jump was to even open the place. Anyways, yes, I understand we have to open whatever, but I mean, the year is not done. You know, let's analyze the situation. Let's look, you know what I mean, and see, you know, how we, you know, how you know, with the road we are right now. You know, looking at other countries too, you know. But I just felt that we went wrong by giving people a responsibility of self-quarantining, and that is my point of view. You know, that's all I wanted to say.
All right, well, thank you for that. Yeah, thank you for that. Let's get the other callers. Good afternoon, welcome, thanks for calling.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Not bad. How are you?
I am well. Good afternoon to the gentleman in studio with you, or Zooming or whatever.
No, he's it right there. Yep.
Let me say something to you, Mr. Sterling. And I think I said this on your program a couple of months ago. Norway went to 21 days quarantine. I would think like 2 months ago at least. And I thought we should have done the same thing then too. I don't know what's wrong with us. Anyway, Norway went to 3 weeks quarantine months ago. Just to those people on, you know, off on that tangent. And as usual, I'm praying from a little country because I love her. I'm praying from a government. They should be successful. No, I didn't tell louder, man. They should be successful so my country can be successful. Look here on the need to listen to our own peoples a little bit sometimes. I believe this is one time, at least listen to hear what we're saying and consider what we're saying. We're not all bright, but we're not all foolish, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, bye-bye.
Okay. Thanks very much. Hey, good afternoon, welcome, thanks for calling. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Dwayne.
Afternoon, sir, how are you?
I know you don't like to hear me on the air, but I got one question to ask you. Did government HSA announce that they was opening an herbal lab on the island?
They have called it an alternative clinic of sorts where they'll be looking at herbs and the like, yeah.
Good. Well, I'm Kenneth Christian. I'm giving you my name. And you can cut me off again if you want.
I don't cut you off, man. You do that.
You cut me off some days ago. But anyway, why
Hey, Kenneth.
about it?
Yeah, let me tell you hello. It's a long time I haven't seen you. Dr. T here.
Yeah. But anyway, what I got to say about it, if you read the Bible tells you that the natural herbs that the good Lord put in this world are a cure for any and all kind of disease. Right? Now, I have been in herbal cures 37 years. October coming, the 20th day, October coming, if I live to see it, be 37 years. And I have cured all kind of things. Cancer, AIDS, herpes, lupus, all these kind of things with natural herbs. You see? And I heard I leave a testimony there at the radio station for you to read how AIDS victims in the United States have a cure by the same herbal cures right here in Cayman. 12 of them. And they sent out a testimony thanking me and praise the Cayman Island.
Mm-hmm.
So if you get hold of that, you can read it and see for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And it was tested in the United States by doctors there. And one of the doctors, that name is there, Dr. James E. Dury, he tested it, treated his son for AIDS and 9 others.
Mm-hmm.
And 10 out of 10 was completely cured.
Mm-hmm. All right. Take one more call. Good afternoon. Welcome. Thanks for calling. Hello. Good afternoon.
Hello. Good afternoon.
How are you? How are you?
Not bad, sir.
Hey, thanks for calling. No?
Tell me something, sir.
Mm-hmm.
The last couple of, let's go back about 2 months ago now.
Mm-hmm.
Our country was feeling safe, and how you think the country was running? I mean, like, people were running without masks, and everybody feel more comfortable, right?
Yeah. If you're listening through the phone and the feed, the delay might be causing you to kind of sort of delay what you're saying.
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, go ahead, yeah. So you were saying that 2 months...
No, I mean, let's go back, not this month or last month. Go from the other month, going back them times there.
Mm-hmm.
The country was running free. We was out masked and all those kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
I know that we wants to open the border, right, to get money. But money is no good when you did.
Mm-hmm.
That's the main thing right there. And some, I guess, I don't understand that.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Arlen said something one time ago. He would not sacrifice his people, open the border and sacrifice his people. And that's a good word he said about that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
No, I know we want to open this border because we want to get funds going and all kind of thing. But is there somewhere that we could put things in place? Because the 14 days quarantine was working very well. But how are these people coming to Cayman Islands with it? Are they cannot be tested before they get on the plane? And know that what the test results is that they cannot get on that plane, right? Now we start the little bit couple minutes that we open up, we see something, things start coming in right now. Another thing is, this is all see and all know what this virus is. This is no laughing, no joking matters. Anything happen all over the world, we all know and see what's going on. Are some of the people that's taking this thing for joke? It's not a joke, sir. They need to be more serious about this thing.
Right.
Not saying they can't open the borders. Yes, they can open the borders there, but I wouldn't open it right away or whatever. Still. But at the end of the day, there has to be more rules set in place. This place is about going private homes. No. If they come to Cayman Islands, off the plane, straight to a hotel, paid for, and you got a security or police there are mounting them that they can't get a sneak out through the back, and you keep it under control that way.
All right. Hey, thanks very much. And when we come back from the news break, we have the good company, Dr. Tomlinson. We'll invite him so we can hear and listen and learn. Please join us after the news.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman. Your voice, your choice. Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom. Today's biggest news.
With your latest headlines, I'm Felicia Rankin-Solins. The Cayman Islands Health Services Authority reminds persons with flu symptoms to stay at home and first contact the 24-hour flu hotline or your general practitioner to speak to a health professional about your symptoms prior to visiting the flu clinic. Contact 1-800-534-8600 or 947-3077 and 925-6327 or email flu@hsa.ky. In international news, COVID booster jabs will begin to be offered across the UK from next week. Around 30 million people should be offered a third dose. The booster should be given at least 6 months after a second dose, with the Pfizer jab recommended. Those eligible include over 50s, younger adults with health conditions, and frontline health and care workers. Top U.S. diplomat Antony Blinken has defended the chaotic Afghanistan pullout in the first official testimony to members of Congress since the exit. Republicans on Monday described the exit as a humiliating loss to the Taliban. Democrats focused on the U.S. Taliban deal set by Donald Trump. Mr. Blinken argued staying longer would not have made a difference. In nearly 20 years of war, more than 6,000 Americans and 100,000 local Afghans were killed at an estimated cost of more than $2 trillion. Apple has issued a software patch to block so-called zero-click spyware that could infect iPhones and iPads. Independent researchers identified the flaw, which lets hackers access devices through the iMessage service even if users do not click on a link or file. The problem affects all of the technology giant's operating systems, the researchers said. These are your headlines. I'm Felicia Rankin-Solins.
For the latest in news and information,
follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky.
Listen to the general public.
Your thoughts are just a telephone call away. 1-800-534-8255.
What the public is saying.
Let your voice be heard. And now,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
Hey, good afternoon, welcome back, and thanks for calling and thanks for sharing. And really appreciate Dr. Tomlinson for giving us a few minutes, and with great deference, let's take one quick call and join us in our discussion. Hey, good afternoon, welcome, thanks for calling.
Hi, good afternoon, Sterling.
Afternoon, my friend, how are you today?
I am very good, brother. Blessings to you, and I'm very happy to hear that Dr. Tomlinson is there with you as well. Good evening, good afternoon, Dr. Tomlinson.
Good afternoon, sir.
Very good. Sterling, just want to just kind of make an announcement, but there's certainly a lot of concern, as it should be. And oh, by the way, this is Brother Dean Evans, and just want to express the concern of a growing disparity between our citizens. And of course, it's a very serious time that we're living in. And in such crises, people need to be united together, even though you may have different views and positions on what you understand to be your position versus someone else's. As a Christian nation, we have really got to understand that we are stronger when we're united, and we're weaker when we're divided. And we're quite divided right now, and this is a great risk to us as a people. And we, as you know, and the public should know, we support the efforts of the Cayman Islands government. We have a different view on the applications, the methods that they're looking to employ, or they really are right now employing. But we have a different view on their methodologies. But that does not suggest that we are fighting against any efforts of the government. We support them, we continue to pray for them, but we're just hoping and praying that their eyes will be open to consider other alternatives that would encourage the population having more information, more data, and become more aware that persons can make an educated decision on which version or options they want to exercise. So we're calling for a National Day of Prayer and Fasting this Saturday, all day from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. This, of course, would be on a Zoom town hall meeting. And it's important that God's people come together, whether whatever denominations, whatever your views are, we need to come together as a people to pray for God's intervention, to bring wisdom, patience, unity, and faith with Him to deliver us through this crisis. And so we will be sending out sometime later today the notice with the Zoom link. And we're encouraging people to really make a consecrated effort to seek the Lord in earnest prayer, that he may stay the winds of Satan's mischief upon this planet, and to deliver these fine Cayman Islands from the grips of where we are. We're going to be praying for families who have been suffering and affected by this health crisis, not just for the Cayman Islands, but around the world. We're going to be praying for our political and health leaders here as well, that the Lord may guide them steadily, firmly, and a sure path, that our people may rejoice, that our people may be delivered if we would come together and pray and subject ourselves to his will.
Hey, thank you, Juan, and we look forward to helping you make the announcement. Blessings to you. Well, Dr. Thomason, thank you not only for joining us, but for your patience as we were, able to listen to some of our callers. And as a practicing physician, despite your attempts at trying to maybe enjoy a new chapter in your life, we're glad that you're still seeing your patients. I know they love, admire, respect, and value all you've served them over the decades. So good afternoon.
Well, thanks for having me, Wayne. It was kind of difficult leaving them because recently I've been inundated, when I tell you, inundated by patients. And I think it's because people want information. They want facts, and, I'm here to give them as much as I know. And I want to listening public to understand that I am in direct contact with institutions abroad, reputable institutions abroad, and with the Royal College of Surgeons, of which I'm a member of that, and I get regular feedback from them.
So, as a practicing physician, as someone that is within our community and we looked at with great respect, you have recently shared from the perspective of a medical doctor some of your views. We're here, we're listening. Share with us as you wish.
Well, first of all, I believe people are rightly concerned as they heard that the borders are going to be gradually open. And I believe that what we've been hearing even today, has created even more concern. But I think one of the things that people are most concerned about is the stranglehold that the government seems to have imposed on people. I mean, this is a democratic country, and while it is true that we want to keep everybody safe, we have to remember that undue pressure on people is unlikely to cause them to cooperate more. So I want to thank both the past and present government, for the efforts they've made. But at this critical time, what I believe that they should be doing is letting the doctors treat the patients. I mean, instead of saying that only one vaccine is available and that's what people have to take, why don't they give us more choice? And in so doing, you're going to find that more and more people will cooperate, because people want to be protected, and people are very, very concerned, I can tell you, and as they should be. And yes, the government has got Pfizer vaccine, and for those who people want to take it, well, let them take it. If that is what they want to take, I'm sure they realize that they take it at their own risk, and that it still has, blanket liability coverage. And everybody has to sign a waiver, I'm told, that at the end of the day, if anything happens to you, it's on you, But I want to just say that there are many options. I've been told by the Public Health Department here that we can have Moderna and AstraZeneca, all those that are approved in the UK. Janssen is approved there too, as we know. And of course, Pfizer's approved. So I'm told that we can have those here, but the important thing for the public to know is that they are all more or less the same. They're mRNA vaccines, and it's new technology. So they fall in that group where nobody knows exactly what's going to happen, in the distant future, certainly. And we know that already people, even in Grand Cayman, are having serious side effects from even the Pfizer. And I'm very, very happy that a database has been established where we can make our reports. That's a very, very excellent thing that has happened.
Right. But if we listen to the media, even here and elsewhere, if we listen to official, the government sources, even here and elsewhere, there is at least the perception that there is information that isn't as clear and concise and easily accessible. So in the Cayman context, with great respect to you and all, are we getting official reports that someone who goes into a physician, private or public practice, and have now reported particular outcomes? They're feeling this way, they're having issues with this or that. Are we, in the absence of that database, which is private and sort of unofficial, are we getting that sort of information?
I don't think it's being made public.
Okay, but
it should.
Okay, and you talked about the mRNA new technology. Are all of the vaccine injection options that are available, are they all this new technology?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
We have a number of vaccines, Sinovac example, Sinopharm. That vaccine has inactivated virus in it.
Okay.
And it's very much like other vaccines that we're accustomed to. I mean, most people know about MMR and vaccines against whooping cough and so forth.
Right.
So it's traditional vaccine, and it doesn't really go into every cell of your body, as does the mRNA vaccines. What happens is that the inactivated virus is in the vaccine, and then it circulates in your body, and then the immune system recognizes the carcass, then the outside of this dead virus is foreign, and then it starts to make antibodies. It's a lag period also, that it starts to make antibodies, and then immunological memory is established. And then when you actually face the offending virus, it doesn't take long before all these antibodies are produced, and therefore you don't come down with the disease.
Is this new technology, the mRNA, more effective? It's new technology, so it may be better than the old established, traditional one that we used way back when.
Well, the Sinopharm vaccine, as compared to Pfizer, more people will in fact contract the illness, but they won't necessarily get very ill than happens with Pfizer. But Sinopharm has a higher incidence of people not dying. So less people are going to die. Something like it has a 96% rate in stopping deaths, whereas Pfizer is close behind it, in stopping deaths. That's what is, the studies have shown. And it's so interesting how, China has vaccinated its entire population with either Sinovac or Sinopharm, because, the technology is out of China, but many countries around the world now are manufacturing it. Example, Turkey, Chile, Brazil, etc. And it is available. I know, for example, I've been told that the Pfizer that's here has been donated and it's free, but many people in our population will pay. They're not asking for handouts. They would pay for Sinopharm. And I really believe that people should have the option of vaccine. I'm not against vaccination. I'm a doctor. Therefore, I'm not against vaccination. But what certainly I like is that people have choice. And there are other forms of treatment. And I know that the Public Health Department has told people that they must keep themselves healthy as much as possible. I mean, they need to keep their body, their immune system built up, etc. That's absolutely necessary. Right. But then it's many people in the Public Health Department are discrediting ivermectin completely, and many politicians are being told that it isn't good. That's not what the majority of studies have shown. Ivermectin, if used in the early stages of this disease, does help. It has saved millions of lives in India, Australia, and now it's being used in Japan. And yet, people in this Public Health Department, whoever they are, and they're telling people that ivermectin is no good.
Well, the approval of the WHO, is that in hand for the Sinopharm and the other ones, Sinovacs?
Yeah, the WHO, yes, the WHO has approved them.
Okay.
But the West hasn't. You see, the West doesn't make as much money of the Sinopharm. But I'm not interested in, the politics behind this or who's going to be making money.
But approval is behind.
Yeah, and I'm interested in saving lives. And if people do not want the Pfizer and they'll take the Sinopharm, then let's give it to them. As a matter of fact, this government would do a lot better, I think, if they just said, listen, doctors, whatever treatments that are WHO approved and that have been proven scientifically to be of help in this coronavirus epidemic, import them. Let the doctors get them in.
You're the experts.
Yes. And let us treat our patients accordingly. And then you would have, I believe, almost 100% cooperation. Who wants this vaccine will get it, and who wants the other one will get it. They would have the option. And in the long run, government might do a lot better because government won't get as much blame because whatever vaccine is given and whatever treatment is given, some people will succumb, as we've seen even here in Cayman. Not everybody makes it. So give people the choice, give the doctors in the community the liberty to treat their patients. And another thing I must say here now, one of the things that should not be happening is that when registered doctors in this country give patients letters saying that they should not get a certain vaccine, and that doctor can prove that certain conditions, example, myocarditis, the person has had heart problems, if the person has had certain blood clots, etc., in the past, or serious hypersensitivity reactions, that they're not eligible for the Pfizer vaccine. Then those people take those letters to their CEOs, etc., and then they're told that, no, you have to get somebody at the HSA. What's so special about the HSA? As a matter of fact, let me tell you something. The public health department should not even be under the HSA. In most countries, it's a separate department and sometimes even under a separate ministry. And this is one of the things that needs to change here, too.
All right. Dr. Thomason, if you'd allow us to take this short break and then we come back, maybe we could ask you some of the information that you receive as a practicing physician through the various entities globally that you may get help us to understand. All right, we'll pause shortly and take a break. When we come back, more talk today.
Busy, busy, busy. Feel like there's not just enough hours in the day. Savannah Pharmacy, service to make your life easier. Now you can WhatsApp your prescription order to 929-5045. And pickup is just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours including Sundays and holidays. WhatsApp your prescription order to 929-5045. Savannah Pharmacy, wholesome values with modern conveniences.
For medical lab services in Cayman, go straight to MedLab.
For a full range of medical services, pleasant, clean and comfortable environment, no long lines and affordable fees, visit MedLab at the Smith Road Plaza, open Monday to Friday 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. and half day on Saturdays. Call 949-7331 to make your appointment.
For medical lab services in Cayman, MedLab.
Ask our professional team about the benefits of cutting-edge technology with MedLab's new state-of-the-art digital mammogram machine.
Explore your history. Explore your land. Explore your sister islands. The ultimate staycation experience. Your culture, your freedom. The land that time forgot isn't gone. It's your sister islands.
Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Optical Outlook Caymanian Village location has moved. Same great services and products, new location. We've moved to Anderson Square in central Georgetown. It's a much larger space with dedicated parking. Please call us on 746-2020 to make your appointment at our new location today. Make sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Please come see the difference with Optical Outlook, Cayman's premier optical provider.
Dress for success and demonstrate school pride by learning and following the National Dress Code policy and the specific dress code for each government school. Under the national dress code policy, boys' hair must be cut short and of natural color. Uniform shirts must be neatly tucked in, undergarments concealed, sneakers or shoes black, and jewelry limited to a wristwatch. Take pride in your stride today. View the complete dress code policy at www.education.gov.ky. This is a message from the Ministry of Education.
Listen to the general public.
Your thoughts are just a telephone call away. 1-800-534-8255.
What the public is saying.
Let your voice be heard. And now,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back. And thanks so much to Dr. Stephen Tomlinson for taking very grateful for you taking the time out of your busy day, and to your patients for allowing us to borrow from you. You were sharing as we were going to the break.
Yeah, I was going to say that many patients have been asking if I have the Sinopharm vaccine, because there was some news to the effect that it had been approved that I could bring it in for my own use and that of my wife and immediate relatives. In other words, I asked that my wife, who is a person who should not take, the Pfizer definitely, that I could bring it in for her and a few others in my family. And they're under the impression that Dr. Lee gave me approval to do it. Well, the public needs to know that, yes, after a certain amount of pressure was put on him, he did give me approval, but in the end, he blocked it. That approval was sent by me to Cayman Airways, and despite asking the Public Health Department to send the approval directly to Cayman Airways, I sent the approval that was sent to me, you see, to Cayman Airways. But despite me asking the Public Health Department to send the approval to Cayman Airways as requested by them, they sent it at the last minute. Can you imagine? When the flight was closed in Bridgetown, Barbados, it seems, well, let's give them, it seems like a rather strange coincidence to me, but perhaps they have been too busy to do otherwise. I don't know. But it seems strange that the flight had just closed, and the person who was going to bring me the Sinopharm was already on the plane, and the plane was ready to take off. So I didn't get the Sinopharm. So for public information, unfortunately, I haven't got it. And then shortly afterward, regulations were made under the public health law by our cabinet that gave Dr. Lee absolute authority. He is the one who decides what all doctors can use or not use to treat patients who have anything to do with COVID-19 in this country now. I do hope that, serious consideration is given to this, and that this will be addressed, because Dr. Lee, the public needs to know, is really an anesthesiologist. He's not a virologist. And there's a lot of doctors here with a lot of experience. I mean, the public knows me very well. I'm interested in this island. And I understand that, they're now making a move to give him some support by, other people, other doctors kind of joining with him on some sort of committee. I hope he's not going to stack that committee. But anyway, I guess that's to give his voice a little bit more strength. But I really feel that that's not the way to do things. That's not the... I have 50 years of medical experience, know this country inside out. And isn't it strange that no politician has even asked Dr. T what you think? And this committee that they're trying to form, I guess they plan, to have some big discussion at the October 9th, annual forum that usually takes place here on the island. And no doubt at that time, he will need a certain amount of support or corroboration of whatever he's saying. But I haven't been asked to join any committee. I haven't been asked for any advice. And it's also strange that doctors like let me see who now. Maybe Darlish Solomon or Sidney Ebanks. These doctors who are Caymanian doctors who have the interests of all of our people, residents, Caymanians, whoever. You know, we know this country inside out. And we could help government get the cooperation of the people. But no, you know, we're not asked. That's how it is.
Prophet is not without honor, they say, saving his own country, huh? You reference the use of ivermectin and the like, and for individuals that may want, we go back to the bird flu, and what's that drug that everybody was running, Tamiflu? I think everybody was running to stockpile at some point. That was the panacea. Is ivermectin something that people can get here in this country?
Well, I understand from some pharmacists that Dr. Lee, this is what I was told, that Dr. Lee and others in the public health department, but I guess it was mainly him, you know, that he is the one who told them that they mustn't give ivermectin out for anything to do with coronavirus. So it's a limited amount of ivermectin now on the island. And that's what I've been told by pharmacists, and I'm not sure whether I have no knowledge of it being, you know, prohibited from importation. I don't have any knowledge of that. But I know that the pharmacists have been told, you know, don't ever dispense ivermectin for anything to do with coronavirus.
So if I just may ask, just generally speaking, you go to your physician, the physician writes a prescription. That prescription is taken to a pharmacy, a licensed pharmacist, looks at it, has it in stock, and I would imagine there's a discussion between the physician and the pharmacist to confirm, you know, that this is it and this is the dosage and this is whatever clarity is needed. And the physician says, yes, you know, this is what I want. The pharmacist can say, no, I'm not going to dispense this, even though the physician has prescribed it. Is that how generally things can work? Ivermectin aside, doesn't matter what the medication is. Is that how the medical profession works?
No, it isn't. The pharmacist has to have good reason not to dispense medication that the physician has ordered.
Okay, so even in this instance, then, if the chief medical officer, it just happens to be that that's not occupied by the person of Dr. Lee, but the authority, as we look at the regulations and the legislation, the chief medical officer has the authority to do this, as you've shared. So can that...
I'm not so sure that the chief medical officer has that authority. Okay. I would get legal opinion on that. Because the chief medical officer doesn't have to approve every drug that's imported into the Cayman Islands.
Okay, all right. Okay. Well, this is where...
And by the way, ivermectin is used for many conditions that the human being... diseases that human beings, particularly parasitic diseases, such as loa and so on. So it is used in human beings, not just in animals.
Okay. All right. Well, again, maybe this is why they say a little learning is a dangerous thing, but where we have this growing divide and perhaps discord, and thankfully people of not just your intellect, but your stature is willing to weigh in and share perspective.
And just for... public information too. I have been told by a member of the, a prominent member of the Public Health Department that they are following Public Health UK guidelines. Okay. And therefore, whatever is approved in the UK or done in the UK, I imagine that the Public Health gives them the right to do. I suppose we could do it here. But I have worked for years in the United Kingdom, and I know the health service that is there. I know it. I know it inside out. And not just when I worked there when I was a young man, but I keep up to date, okay? And I have grave concern at the dismal performance of the UK during this pandemic. I really have. Because they had over 6 million cases and almost 140,000 deaths. Therefore, they've done even worse than the United States. And the public probably knows they've had Freedom Day, and people there now. A Caymanian that was there last week has told me that the Brits are doing anything they want now. So tell me, is that the plan for here too? I would like to know. Is that what they're planning to do here? That soon we'll be able to do whatever we want to do? Well, in that regard, I mean that all restrictions are lifted I don't know. And by the way, about this opening, and I understand that there was a Zoom meeting yesterday where Cabinet listened to certain doctors, such as Dr. Rado, who is a radiologist, imagine, who works at my old hospital, and Dr. Benoit, a wonderful heart surgeon over there in Health City, Dr. Suki Yen, and others. I mean, I know what goes on, as you know. But anyway, that was mainly to discuss the opening, okay? And I expressed the same concern that government has. It's a serious matter. You have to know when to open. And, you know, if we open at the wrong time, especially if we don't give people choice that they cooperate and protect themselves, then we can expect deaths.
Dr. Tomlinson, if I may ask, some of us try to look at official data, try to look at statistics. Some of us either understand it or smart enough to ask those who do to explain it to us. Statistics are the UK Public Health Database. We live in a world where technology allows us to leverage certain information if it's available and if we're willing to dig deep. There have been some who have shared information that would indicate that significant death since the year started to date in the UK in the vaccinated and unvaccinated.
Yeah.
Do you have any?
I'm very, very concerned about that. Yeah. Thanks for bringing that to my attention. This is reason for concern because I have lots of friends and colleagues over in the UK who's taken the AstraZeneca, and here in the Eastern Caribbean, many have taken the AstraZeneca, the UK mRNA vaccine. And this is coming directly now from the public health database in England. And it's regarding people who have contracted the Delta cases.
Okay.
And it's between 1st February to 28th August 2021. It's interesting that 219,000, a little over that, Brits, they who are unvaccinated, contracted the Delta virus, Delta variant. But there were 536 deaths. Of the vaccinated people, 222,000 contracted it, but there were 1,233 deaths. That is really, really concerning because this means that when the variant comes, the vaccinated have to be extremely careful. They better wear their masks. And by the way, I don't want to make that sound like, I'm being cavalier about it. I mean, this is serious, and it really, really gives me grave concern because, many people believed, that they're going to be much better off when they take the vaccination. That's not the case as far as what is happening now. In the United Kingdom, more of the people who have been vaccinated are dying from the Delta variant. Isn't that serious? I am so concerned. So concerned.
If I may just maybe ask you finally, and if your schedule allows, once we can continue, as you have invited us to have open, frank, civil discussion, looking for information to help to support the safety and security of our society, it's increasingly becoming very divided. There's little little opportunity for a meaningful discussion where it doesn't become this heated thing and puts people on one side of the fence and the other. With that in mind, where do we go from here? Because a lot of people are, honestly, afraid. They're worried. They are scared.
I think they have a right to be. They really have a right to be.
Well, Dr. Tomlinson,
But the bad thing about this whole thing, and this is not only, as you know, this is not only happening in Cayman. This is a worldwide problem.
Right.
And, the other day, I was talking to a surgeon who was in the operating room with me. And I said, if you don't look sharp, the whole world is going to turn communist. China is going to have its way. Either you got to do that or die.
Wow. I appreciate you sharing, and hopefully we can have more physicians like yourself around the table, whether just an opportunity for exchange information. What final words would you want to leave to us, guidance to our public, to our politicians, and to our pastors?
I want to tell our government that, I'm with them. I want to see people have choice. I want like them. I want to try to make sure that everything is done, to prevent, so many casualties, once the borders are open. And to do that, my suggestion is the formation of a proper COVID-19 coronavirus in a task force. And secondly, give people choice and let the doctors treat the patients. They'll get less blame. And anybody who wants to call me, anybody out there who wants any information, if I know, then what is what about whatever they're asking. If I know the answer, I will tell them. And I will try to be as much help as I can to the Cayman Islands community. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tomlinson. And I wish you not only a very safe afternoon, but one that's enjoyable, relaxing. I mean, you should be retired, you say.
Yeah, I'm old enough. So I thought retirement was 62 or 65, or is it 80 now?
When you're a physician, 70. When you're a politician, it's strong bird lives a long time. Enjoy yourself.
Do you know the World Health Organization has said now that you're young until you're 65, and middle age is 65 to 80, and over 80 is you being old. I made the mistake of saying that to West Vale. And do you know the West Vale, what the West Vale told me? I never write that what you think.
He's only come into his prime. Ask my daughter, boy. All right, we're going to pause and take this break until tomorrow. But please join me start in the morning for the record and come back for Talk Today right after the midday news. Until then, be well, be blessed.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration, Tourism and Transport. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. MedLab in Smith Road Plaza, your complete medical laboratory solution. Call 949-7331. And Savannah Pharmacy in Countryside Shopping Village, convenient opening hours including Sundays and holidays.
Shaken yet standing firm. This is Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.